In theaters now from Orion Pictures, a subdivision of MGM. I remember Orion Pictures from the 80s. It was really cool seeing the Orion logo again. Is the new teen comedy, subversive teen comedy Bottoms, directed by Emma Seligman and starring Rachel Sennott and Ayu Edebiri. This was a film that I'd seen a trailer for and really did not look like my style. And I wound up going to see it because I got the Alamo season pass and I pay for it and I hardly ever use it. And I'm like, hey, why not go take a chance on a movie? The last time I did that, I really liked the film. Not so much the case for this one. Anyway, what's this film about? Basically, this is like a mix of like Fight Club and Heathers and some other movies from the past where you get these two, I think they're going in to be seniors in high school, and that's Sennott and Edebiri, who have done a bunch of sketch comedy TV work before that I wasn't familiar with until I went to see this film. And they're two, best friend lesbians who are tired of not getting any action in high school. And this is going to be the year that they talk to the pretty girls and see if they'll go out with them. And this will be the year that they become something other than the weird kids that nobody wants to talk to. And things don't work well for them until they decide to essentially form a fight club in hopes that it will get those pretty girls to come and hang out with them, and they'll be able to, get dates out of it or something like that. So it's done in a very sort of strange, I don't want to say surrealistic style. It's done in a bit of an absurdist style. It reminded me a bit of Better Off Dead, a film I love, where just weird things are going on in the background. And if you listen to, there's a lot of weird stuff packed into the corners of this film. The teachers, drop F-bombs left and right. The things written on the blackboards are really edgy and weird and crude sometimes. For some reason, there's a football player locked in a cage in the corner of a room. This is the story of this film is that this school just worships the football team and worships the football players, and they can get away with anything, and it's all weird and over the top. And there's one guy, Jeff, who's played by Nicholas. Again, I'm reading from across the room. Nicholas. I should just say, hey, he's a guy, but I like to name drop it occasionally. Nicholas Gazatine. I'm sorry about that. Nick plays this Jeff. He's the super quarterback. Everybody loves him, but he's just really kind of weird and over the top and childish. And these two girls hate him, and they're trying to steal his girlfriend away, essentially. So you get this Fight Club stuff where it's kids, it's females, beating each other up and learning self-defense, and the two main girls really don't know how to fight, but they're pretending they do. And I didn't find it funny was the problem. It really did feel like a mix of Fight Club and Heathers to me, from what I recall of Heathers. And sometimes it's very violent, sometimes it's very crude, sometimes it's very over the top. It looks nice, it's well photographed, but to me the humor just didn't land. Like I didn't find it funny. I might have done this a couple times. But that was about it. It just did not appeal to me. And sitting saw it at the Alamo Draft House, and before the Alamo, they'll do pre-shows for about 20 minutes while you're seated and waiting for the film to start, and they'll play clips of other things people have done, or they'll play trailers for films that are related, and it was pretty much exclusively devoted to this film and other things that the creative team and the actresses had done. And I was seeing this stuff, and I was watching it with a straight face. I'm like, ooh, this really isn't for me. This is not boding well for this film. And then they had some interviews with like the writer, director, and cast of the film, and they just were not funny to me. And maybe it's me. Maybe it's I like to think that just because I'm not a teenage lesbian, I shouldn't not be able to get the humor in a film. I mean, some films are really aimed at a specific audience, but any good film will appeal to anybody. I love a lot of films that are really not about who I am, and I really couldn't get into this one. But there were two people sitting in front of me. They were laughing here and there during the movie, so they clearly got it. So perhaps it's just not a film for me. But I really, it wasn't my bag, man. And it wasn't for lack of trying. I don't think the cast was necessarily bad. I think most of them were pretty good. But I'd like to see them in something else that's perhaps, I hate to say better written, but I want to see them write something specifically for me. I didn't like it. And generally I don't find a lot of modern comedies funny. They either try to be too crude or too aggressive or too out there or too intentionally unfunny. And this kind of did that too. The number of and I'm no prude if you heard me talk off camera, the number of F-bombs in this film was like just ridiculous. And also, again, I'm speaking as a dude, but I don't find the word vagina comedy gold, but over the last decade or two, that has become a thing to just get dropped in there as though that's hilarious. And I don't find the word funny. If you used it in a funny context, maybe, but it's always this thing that just keeps coming up. Maybe it's a younger generation of comedy thing or younger filmmaker thing. I don't know. So I call me the old cranky prude male guy, but I didn't really care for Bottoms, unfortunately. And it is now in theaters from Orion.